You know that feeling, right? You're at work and it feels like you're fighting the exact same fires over and over again. It's like an orchestra where every musician is playing a totally different song. It's just a mess, pure noise. Well, today we're going to look at the actual sheet music that can turn all that organizational chaos into a real symphony. Let's dig in.
So here's our plan. First, we'll talk about that chaotic noise of recurring problems. Then, we'll introduce the conductor and the score that brings some order to it all. After that, we'll meet the key players in our orchestra. And finally, we'll see how they all work together to make some beautiful music.
All right, let's just set the scene. Every single organization has them. Those nagging, persistent issues that just will not go away. It's a super common, and let's be honest, a deeply frustrating experience for everyone involved.
I mean, this is the big question, isn't it? We keep putting out the fire, but it feels like we never actually find the source of the spark. We're always fixing the symptom, but the real underlying cause? It's just lurking, waiting for the next chance to cause trouble. Does any of this sound familiar? You know, the website that always crashes right before the weekend? Or that one sales report that's never right? How about the network that slows to a crawl every single morning? This is exactly that organizational noise I was talking about. Each one is a recurring headache, and together, it's just this constant draining chaos that absolutely kills productivity and morale. But what if there was a structured way to silence it for good? And that brings us right to the solution. See, to turn noise into music, you don't just need talented musicians. You absolutely need a conductor to lead them and a score for everyone to follow. In the world of business and IT, we call this problem management.
And here's the official definition, which really nails it. It's not just about fixing things when they break. No, this is a proactive, really detailed practice. The whole goal is to find and completely eliminate the root cause, stopping the issue from ever happening again. This right here, this is our sheet music.
So what does this score look like? Well, it needs to be a super clear model of accountability. A really common way to do this is with a RACI model. It clarifies who is responsible for actually doing the work, who is accountable for the final outcome, who needs to be consulted for their input, and who just needs to be kept informed. With a clear score like this, there's no more guessing, no more confusion. Everyone knows exactly what part they play.
Okay, so we've got our sheet music. Now, who are the musicians? A successful performance really depends on having clearly defined roles, where each person has a specific instrument and a critical part to play. Let's meet the key players in this orchestra.
Here's a quick look at the whole orchestra. As you can see, we've got managers, coordinators, deep technical experts, and more. Each one has a distinct and totally vital job to do. So let's zoom in on each of these roles and see how they contribute to the symphony. First up, the problem manager. This person is our conductor. They don't play a single instrument. Nope, they direct the entire performance. They own the whole practice. They decide which problems get fixed first based on business impact, and they're the one who reports back to leadership on how well the orchestra is performing.
Next, we've got the problem coordinator. You can think of them as the leader of a specific section in the orchestra, like the first chair violin. They manage all the day-to-day details for problems in their specific area, whether that's a critical app or the company network. Their job is to keep their section perfectly in sync.
And here are star soloists, the technical subject matter experts, or SMEs as you'll often hear. These are the virtuosos who have truly mastered their instruments. They're the ones who perform the super deep dive analysis to figure out exactly why something is broken, and they're the ones who propose the permanent fix.
Now, the incident manager has a really unique role. They are the first to hear when something sounds wrong. They're out there on the front lines dealing with all the daily disruptions. So their job is to provide all the critical data on these recurring incidents and then officially escalate them to the problem team, basically saying, hey, listen, this isn't a one-off thing. We've got a real problem here.
And finally, we can't forget the unsung heroes, the change manager. These folks are the stage crew. Once our brilliant SMEs have figured out the fix, the change manager makes sure that solution gets implemented safely and effectively, without accidentally breaking something else in the process. They make sure the fix doesn't cause a whole new problem.
So, we've met the players and we've seen the score. Now let's watch how they all come together to perform a true problem-solving symphony, turning that recurring, chaotic noise into a permanent, harmonious solution.
And here it is, the symphony in motion. It all kicks off when the incident manager identifies a pattern of trouble and hands it off. Then, our conductor, the problem manager, accepts the problem and prioritizes it. From there, the SMEs perform their incredible solo, investigating the deep root cause. And finally, the change manager takes that proposed solution and makes sure it's deployed through a safe, controlled process. It's just a beautiful, logical flow from noise all the way to resolution.
So here's the main takeaway, the most important point of all of this. When everyone knows their part, when the process is crystal clear, and when accountability is defined, you stop just patching holes. You actually start building something stronger. You finally transform that frustrating, repetitive noise into a real, lasting solution.
And that leaves us with one last thing to think about. When you consider those problems that never seem to die in your world, who's holding the baton? Who's the conductor? Because if the answer is no one, well, you might have just found the real reason your orchestra is still making noise.